Welcome in, everyone, to the Football Addicts Anonymous podcast. It is episode numero 100. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Let's go.
We made it. We made it to 100 Wednesday / Monday / maybe a couple Tuesday shows in there somewhere. Or like the NFL COVID scheduling from last season.
Yeah, we had to do a couple of reschedules, but hey, we made it.
Yes, sir. That is why I'm wearing sunglasses. While it's currently like 10 degrees here. No, it's a little bit warmer than that, I think.
Well, it's 28 here, so
16 feels like 2. 16 feels like 2, though.
Yeah.
Great. It's great times. But yeah, we got a great show today talking about probably the best weekend in football ever. Not just playoff, but best overall weekend in football ever.
It was, yesterday was definitely better than Saturday, I think, but
well,
overall the weekend was insane.
You had your opposites. You had your defensive lovers on Saturday. You had your offensive lovers on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I saw a friend of ours and a friend of the show, London, he posted about it too, saying the same thing. It was the best weekend of football he's ever seen. And I think he even said, like, what did we do to deserve such a great weekend? It was really, aside from the Packers losing, it was a great weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna preface the show that this will probably get the record for the most expletives in show history because that's how my weekend went anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was gonna do the exact same thing that happened on Saturday where I went 1-1 and then I went 0-2 on Sunday, which was great to see. Weirdly enough, though, the show went 4-0 in Lone Wolves. I only got 1. Mark got 2, and you got 1.
Oh, I thought I had 2, but okay.
Did you pick the Rams?
Yeah, I picked the Rams.
Oh, okay. Okay, then you got 2. I thought Mark had picked the Rams, but that's because he's a Rams fan and he didn't pick his own team. I don't know how you do that, but in the playoffs especially. But anyways, first off, all right. So Bengals 19-16 on Saturday, first game of divisional round weekend. Bro, the Titans got to get a fucking quarterback, man. That is just inexcusable to throw a ball in a dangerous situation when you're running the clock out and trying to get in field goal range. That's terrible.
I don't know. It seems like neither one of these teams wanted to win this game, though. Because on the flip side, the Bengals let a record 9 sacks happen to Joe Burrow. So
exactly. If Ryan Tannehill plays like an average quarterback and throws like 1 interception instead of 3, they win.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he threw 2 before that, and they still had a chance to win because their defense was so good all play. And Derrick Henry wasn't anything special in his return, only 3.1 yards per carry.
No.
He did win me the first touchdown though, which I was happy to get.
No, I had a parlay that didn't hit on Saturday, and it started on the first game. I had Henry, I think, over 80 yards, and yeah, he only got 62. So
yeah, literally everyone was expecting him to get a boatload of yards, and did not. Deontay Foreman had a nice long run on one of his 4 carries. There's Joe Burrow's yardage. It always baffles me how I seem to miss these things.
Well, there's a lot of information to put down. So
I'm just typing along and like I miss something. It always happens usually in the quarterbacks though. I always like miss the yards, or the yards is the most common thing I miss. Or I'll miss the rating sometimes. Sometimes I'll miss the team name. But yeah, I mean, the Titans defense was so good in this game. He already had 9 sacks. They had 8 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, and 13 hits on Burrow as well. And also, I mean, A.J. Brown had a marvelous day as well. 5 receptions, 142 yards, and a touchdown on 9 targets. There's just the turnovers. You can't do it.
Everything was set up for the Titans to win this game. And yeah, Tannehill was the reason they lost, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Burrow didn't have that good of a game either. I mean, granted, he really couldn't help the running for his life pretty much the entire game. But, if the Bengals offense plays the way they did against the Titans next week against the Chiefs, they have no shot.
Yeah. Now I'm a Bengals fan because of the results in the other 3 games. I'm a Bengals and Rams. That's who I need.
That's the Super Bowl I want.
Jamar Chase also 100-yard day, 5 catches, 109 yards on 6 targets. I was annoyed because in my same game parlay for this one, and for a couple of Saturday only DFS plays that I had, I went with Tyler Boyd because T. Higgins did nothing in the wild card game. He got 1 catch, and Tyler Boyd had a touchdown and like 5 catches. And friggin' T. Higgins gets almost 100 yards on 7 receptions in this game on 9 targets. I was like, bro, come on, throw it to 83, not 85.
Yeah, I had Chase to score a touchdown too, and that didn't happen either. So,
bro, we need to stop betting that. That needs to stop going in the parlay. Because I've done it the last 2 weeks as well, and he's not scoring in the playoffs right now because they're doubling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, defensively, pick your Titan. I mean, I'm gonna go Jeffrey Simmons though.
Yeah.
8 tackles, 7 solos, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits. He was dominant, and he's gonna get monster money in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had the best game out of everybody on the list, but yeah, I mean, you got to give a little bit of love though to the winning team there. The only Bengal on defense on our list here with Logan Wilson. He did have one of those 3 interceptions, and he did get in the backfield. He got a tackle for loss and a pass deflection and a QB hit. So, and 8 tackles, 6 solo to go along with that. So he had a pretty good day too on defense for the Bengals.
Yeah, Logan Wilson had the interception at the end to set him up at the 50-yard line. See, that's the thing though too. That was weird. Like, okay, you throw the interception, the Bengals are at the 50, they need like 15 yards to get into field goal range. And the Titans can't stop them. It's like the first time all day the Titans didn't stop them. At the most crucial moment in the game, the Bengals offensive line held up.
And I mean, we haven't even mentioned the most important Bengal of the day either yet. Mr. McPherson down there at the bottom of the screen.
Dude, he should win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I mean, yeah, I guess that does count as offense. Yeah, there should be a Special Teams Rookie of the Year award too. But no, anyway,
players.
But McPherson, I mean, everybody said coming into the year he was a great kicker. He was obviously drafted. There was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot pointing to him having a great year, and he has had a decent year up to this point. But I don't think anybody outside of like Cincinnati really paid attention to him. And now that he's on national television in the playoffs, everybody's now realizing how good of a kicker he actually is. And there's been like, I've seen it all over social media now, but there was a video from when he was at Florida of him kicking the cap off of a Gatorade bottle that was taped on top of the goalpost. So yeah, this kid's legit.
Yeah, he's 8 for 8 on field goals in the playoffs this year through 2 games.
And did you hear? I think it was Burrow that said it after the game about what McPherson said when he was running out to kick the game winner.
Didn't he say like that's game or something like that?
He's like, "We're going to the AFC Championship" or something like that. Like he flat out said, "All right, we win this game." Like he was just so confident in his ability, and he did it.
Yeah, it's crazy. The baby Bengals, man, they are young and hungry and confident. So we'll see. First ever road playoff win in Bengals history. They've knocked off 2 things now in the playoffs this year. First win in 31 years. First road win ever for the Bengals. So Joe Burrow and the Bengals are getting it done. They're getting it done with defense, really. I mean, they allowed 16 points last week. They allowed 16 this week. So
it's going to be tough keeping Mahomes to 16 points.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a defense. It's just we'll see if they can match up.
I'm just saying the Bills were the number 1 defense this year, and they let up 40 whatever points against Mahomes. So
42.
Yeah, 42.
Bengals +4 covered under 48.5. I did live bet the under in this one at like 45.5. That's good. All right. NFC side here. Down goes the other number 1 seed. Niners 13-10 win over the Packers. No offensive touchdowns for the 49ers. It was a fantastic game to watch. I was loving it. Not loving it early, but it was crazy. I had the Niners money line at +205. I had the under 47.5 that I hammered. And you can say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, man, but his playoff record is fantastic. And they won. That's all that matters.
His playoff record is good, but he did not win this game.
Doesn't matter. They won.
Special teams won this game for them.
They're the 32nd ranked DVOA special teams unit.
Yeah. But yeah, this game cost me $50. I'm still pissed off about it because I tripled down on the Packers getting to and winning the Super Bowl. I had a bet in for them straight up winning the Super Bowl. I had a bet in for them to get to the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs, and I had a bet in for them beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I bet a total of $50 between those 3 bets. And obviously that's not happening, so that's $50 down the drain.
Chris, you're getting hooked now.
See? Hey, but I then won the $50 back yesterday, betting the 2 other games right. So.
Oh, okay, I got you. I was gonna say, Chris Jr. is not getting a new toy now. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers was decent. I don't think he was terrible, but I'm happy he's gone. I'm happy that he's more than likely not going back to the Packers. Neither team could run the ball very much. Aaron Jones, his receiving numbers are inflated because he caught that 75-yard reception. That led to the blocked field goal at the end of the first half.
Yeah. it was just so infuriating yesterday because, I mean, I probably should have checked the weather of the game prior to putting in a bet, but I had the over because I thought it was going to be a offensive like outburst. But yeah, no, the Packers couldn't get anything going in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you might have thought it would have been over considering the history, the 3 games that they've played against Aaron Rodgers. The 49ers have scored 35 or more in each game. But I knew it was going to be under his freezing cold temperatures in Green Bay on Saturday night. So, yeah. Devontae Adams, nice night, 9 for 90 and 11 targets there. Kittle, leading receiver for the Niners. Defensively, I'm going Rashawn Gary for the Packers. 4 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. Eric Armstead would be my Niners pick, though, for defense. Him and Bosa had a magical second half. And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, safety Talanoa Hufanga, 6-yard blocked punt return for a touchdown. And then, of course, Robbie Gould with the game winner at the end. So,
wait, was I can't remember exactly, but was Hufunga or whatever? Did he block it and then pick it up, or was he just the one that picked it up?
someone else blocked it. I don't remember who it was. But yeah, I was very happy. Now I'll be rooting against the Niners in the NFC Championship game. Let's see if the play-by-play says who blocked it. No, it does not. Yeah, and see, the craziest thing was, that blocked return was set up by a sack because Eric Armstead had sacked Aaron Rodgers on 3rd and 8 to make it a 4th and 19. Yeah. That's what set that up. Very good game. I was happy. One of the days I was happy anyways this weekend. Niners +6 covered, under 46.5. Yeah, I also live bet +6.5 whenever the Packers went up 10-0. And I was like, let's go. they're not going to lose by a touchdown. So, all right. Here come the Fs. All right, so fuck the Rams. Rams 30-27 over the Buccaneers. And Sunday was just the worst defensive, just like, what the fuck moments of my life. I have no clue how in the hell you let the best receiver in the NFL get behind you when you just tied the game. It made absolutely no sense how that happened. I mean, they let him open earlier too when he he scored on that play, right? 75-yard or whatever, 70-yard touchdown. So yeah, I was just like, and I was so overcome because it was like, bro, the GOAT brought him back. 27-3 this time, not 28-3.
It had major Super Bowl vibes, and I was like, are you kidding me? Here we go again. But luckily, the Rams weren't the Falcons, and they were able to hold them off and go down and win the game.
-2 in turnover for the Rams. They fumbled 4 times. Cooper Kupp once, Cam Akers with 2 very massive, timely fumbles. once at the end of the first half at the 1 yard line, and once to set the Bucs up for their game-tying touchdown. And then also they credited the other fumble to center Brian Allen, who snapped it right by Stafford's ear hole when he wasn't when he didn't know it was coming. But yeah, I'm so mad, bro. I should have won a parlay on this game, and I don't know. I think stat corrections don't come out until tomorrow. So I'm praying wholeheartedly for an NFL stat correction of just 1 yard. I only need 1 freaking yard added to Leonard Fournette. I had him with 52 rushing yards, and I had him over 51 and a half. And he's the one that lost my parlay because I had 300 yards for Brady. I had what else did I have? I had Mike Evans to score a touchdown. Mike Evans like 75 yards. I think I had Fournette to get 5 catches. And what else do I have there? Yeah, and Cup to score. Yeah, Brady 300 yards, Evans and Cup both to score, Fournette 5 catches, Evans 73 yards receiving, and Fournette 52 plus rushing. So we'll see. I'm praying for the NFL stat correction that do not come very often. And I don't know when they come. But anyways. Yeah. This game had my heart. I was just depressed in the first half, and then the goal gave me life.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the last game we're going to go over, that was the craziest part of the entire weekend.
Yeah. And people are saying good for Stafford. I don't care. I wanted the Bucs to win. I'm one of the few people that wanted Tom Brady to win. I don't care.
Well, that was because you had money on the Buccaneers to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I lost 2 bets on this game. I lost my Bucs-Bills Super Bowl matchup, which was $20, and I lost my $10 one that I put in at the beginning of the playoffs for the Bucs to be the Super Bowl runner-up. So that was cool. But and also, not that it would have mattered because the Rams scored other touchdowns after the first one, before the Bucs scored their first touchdown. But Kendall Blanton first touchdown, that helps no one. No, we don't need Kendall Blanton to score a touchdown, especially the first one, Matthew Stafford. Like give some people some money, like you get Akers into the end zone or Higbee or Cup. People had money on those guys. No one had money on Kendall Blanton first touchdown. He had 4 receptions the whole year, and he has 2 in this game. Granted, though, I will say, for those 4 receptions, I don't know. I think no, they didn't all come in that one game because he filled in for Higbee, who was out with COVID for the one game. And that was the game, if you remember, Chris, that I needed him. And he got the 2 catches that I needed him to get against the Cardinals to win my fantasy matchup that week. So that was when I needed you, Kendall Blanton, not here. But
Mm-hmm.
Kupp was monstrous, 9 for 183 and a touchdown, boosted by those 2 long catches. Evans again, his was also boosted by his 77-yard touchdown, 8 for 119 and a touchdown, but 16 targets for Mike Evans. I mean, Brady was just throwing it up. And you know what? I forgot. I'm going to talk about that too. I'm going to get heated about that one too, Chris. But I'll let your thoughts first about the Eric Weddle unsportsmanlike hit, unnecessary roughness that was called, and that on 4th and 13 that they called that it was after the ball, because it was after the ball hit the ground, it was Rams ball.
Yeah, that was such a confusing like play call and stuff. Like, I don't know. For once, the refs actually seemed like they were against Brady, which I was enjoying. But because they also threw an unsportsmanlike against him too at one point in the game. But and they missed that call on him too. The helmet to helmet on him earlier in the game, and they didn't call that either. But yeah, that play, that could have been game over, Buccaneers winning, but I don't know. The explanation of the rule was really weird and really weird timed. I've never heard that be an explanation before, but yeah.
Yeah, bro, I started clapping because I was like, bro, let's go. That's a first down. That's an automatic first down. And then I mean,
you weren't wrong. It was a first down, just not for the Bucs.
I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, bro, how is that not a Bucs first down? He freaking hit him in the head. That should be a first down for the Buccaneers. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like that it was called that way. I mean, I guess because you rarely see a guy get hit right after the ball hit the ground. I don't know. Okay, so I found this old tweet from 2018, right, on stat corrections that say it's from Field Yates. Says that the NFL or stat corrections are handled by the NFL and distributed to all platforms, and are always done Wednesday into Thursday. So I don't know if that's the same for the playoffs or not. So I might have to keep my eye on the Bucs game for the rest of the week here, just to make sure they don't add any yards to Leonard Fournette. Watch my luck; they'll take one away and make it even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, playoff Lenny was playoff Lenny again, man. 51 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions for 56 yards in his return to the starting lineup. Gronk had a nice day, 4 for 85 on 11 targets. That's the thing, though, 11 targets for Gronk. They were out of sync for most of the first half with him and Brady. And a couple of them, I was mad at Gronk because I was like, bro, you have to help Tom get back to the ball. He was waiting for the ball on a couple of those. And I'm like, dude, go back to the ball. You got to help your quarterback out some, especially when your offensive line can't block, which they couldn't at all for most of the day. Josh Wells was absolutely just a dumpster fire at right tackle. His replacement, the first-year guy, I don't even remember what his name was, Levert or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
He actually, I thought he did pretty well, actually. It seemed like whenever he came in, even though Wells came back in then at the end, I thought Levert did an okay job. It seemed like they got stuff going whenever he came into the game at right tackle. I know they helped him more than they did Wells, but I don't know. They definitely missed Tristan Wirfs, though. And Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald were having field days out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Donald is probably the player of the game defensively. 5 tackles, 3 solos, a sack, 2 tackles lost, a pass selection, 3 quarterback hits.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And Ndamukong Suh, though, did have himself a day for the Bucs, especially when he gave him life, stripping Cam Akers, setting them up for that game-tying drive. It's the same thing, though, bro. 42 seconds. Okay, 42 seconds, 1 timeout for the Rams. It's a similar situation as the Bills game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with more time, but still. I was just like, oh my God. And on that play that they threw to Cup, 2 things occurred on that play that were so stupid. First off, the Bucs weren't lined up right. They didn't get lined up right before the snap. And at that point, I wonder, they don't have any timeouts. So, I mean, I know you're not thinking about this while you're playing, but it's like, it would have been just good. Jump off sides. Like, get a whistle. I mean, It's not something that's practiced, but that's your only option with no timeouts, and you're not in position to get to play.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that happened on that play, which I have no idea what Todd Bowles was doing, he freaking brought a slot blitz. I'm like, what are you doing? Stafford had the best completion passer rating against the blitz this season.
Mm-hmm.
And you're bringing a blitz in the most crucial of moments when you just tied the game. Now, that's the thing. I think everyone in the world knew if they got it to overtime, the Buccaneers were going to win that game because of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. Rams +3 over 48. I was mad. I was gonna play. It was over 46.5 that I had live. And that was before the Bucs scored the tying touchdown. And I was like, dude, I want to play it. But they had it juiced the hell out of it at like -210. I was like, bro, how are you going to do that to me like that? Come on. So I didn't play it. But obviously it would have been easily hit considering there were 10 more points after it was 20-27.
Yeah.
Or actually, that was, yeah. I don't know. At one point, I had over 46.5 available. That was when they were down 2 touchdowns, I think, and they were driving to score the first touchdown that they needed. Because that would have only been 20-13, which is 43. I don't know. I have no clue when it was in the game that I had that option, but didn't do it because it was way too much juice. Okay. Chiefs, 42-36 over the Bills in overtime in Kansas City. I mean, what do you want to start? What do you want to start with, Chris?
Well, I just want to start off by saying the last 2 minutes of the game was probably the craziest 2 minutes of football I think I've ever seen. Because there was like 5 lead changes in those 2 minutes. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I bet the under 56.5 live, thinking there's no way. There's absolutely no way they score 8 touchdowns. And they scored 25 points in the fourth quarter.
yeah.
28 points.
I had just done a preset parlay for this game because I saw it and I was like, oh, this one looks pretty good. It was Chiefs money line, Kelsey touchdown anytime. The over 47.5, I think, or 46.5, something like that. And Pringle 40 yards. He was the only thing that didn't hit for me. Everything else hit.
Yeah, I was in a similar situation, not a preset, but one of my own creation. And I had Kelsey anytime, Gabriel Davis anytime. I had Kelsey 73 receiving, I think. Yeah, Kelsey 73 receiving, Kelsey 6 catches, and the only 2 things that didn't hit were the Bills, Singletary 55 rushing yards and Diggs 74 receiving. He got 1 catch for 7 yards, which is absolutely ridiculous. But
Yeah,
it was the game.
they just kept throwing to Davis.
They couldn't cover him.
Yeah.
They left him wide open for 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, NFL playoff record, 4 receiving touchdowns in a game. No one, not even the greatest wide receiver of all time, Jerry Rice, never did that in the playoffs in all the Niners runs that they had. But 8 catches, 201 yards, and 4 touchdowns on 10 targets.
Mm-hmm.
I had him in a DFS play. Won $2 off a $1 entry on both FanDuel and DraftKings. So he helped me win $4 total on $2 entry total. Double my money there. So, but yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran 8.6 yards per carry, but Allen and Mahomes both led their teams in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills had the game won twice. They had it won twice.
Yeah.
2 times. First was when Gabriel Davis scored his 3rd touchdown. The Bills got up 29-26 with 1:54 to go. Chiefs had all 3 timeouts. And Patrick Mahomes hits Tyreek Hill 64 yards for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs up 4. Allen drives them all the way down. 19-yard touchdown to Gabriel Davis. Chiefs have 2 timeouts left, 13 seconds. The squib kick versus non-squib kick, I don't really think that was a big issue.
No.
I mean, regardless, if you squib it, yes, you're more than likely going to knock maybe 3-4 seconds off the clock. I think 9 seconds might have still been enough time for Mahomes to get one to Kelsey or Hill and try like a 60-yard field goal, which is more likely improbable, but he would have been set up with better field position than the 25-yard line. I think that's the one thing that people don't talk about with the squib kick.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you really are good and get it past the couple upbacks that they have, which it's easier to do and how today they are required to set up the kick return.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, if your defense can't stop them with 13 seconds to go, I mean, Leslie Frazier does not deserve a single head coaching job. He doesn't. I mean, you cannot do that. Even to probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now, you can't.
No.
And the thing is, I don't even remember how the Hill play really went, the first play that they had, because it was really all about the Kelsey play that got him into field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
And that play, there were three things, maybe four things that happened that I will say. First off, they were defending the end zone. They had like four guys deep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need a touchdown. They need a three to tie and go to overtime. There's no reason to play 30, 40 yards off the ball, especially with three or four guys.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, maybe two. Second thing, they were defending the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
They have two timeouts. They don't need to defend the side. They don't need to get out of bounds.
Yeah, that soft coverage on the Bills was just terrible. I mean, I can't remember if it was on that game tying drive or if it was on the game winning drive, but it was a Kelsey reception, and I just remember seeing, like, if that last guy hadn't tackled him, he would have been gone for the touchdown, game over. Because there was literally nobody around him for like 20 yards.
Third thing, they rushed 4. You should not rush 4 with that much time to go. Drop 8 or 9 into coverage if you can. You don't need to get a sack. Like, you need as many defenders to defend two of the best players in the NFL catching the ball. And then the last thing I have with that play, somewhat correlated to playing the sidelines, the Chiefs' corner was playing an outside technique. He was letting Kelsey go inside with no jam. I mean, they're playing 10 yards off the receivers. It was just, I thought, you would have been better playing your your regular defense against them than the bullshit that they played at the end. And again, I don't think Leslie Frazier deserves any head coaching opportunity after that debacle.
Yeah, that was just terrible play calling for the Bills there at the end. But yeah, you can't leave one of the fastest receivers and one of the probably the number one tight end in the league open the way that they did and expect to win a game.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't even like, even if you're going to do that, like, tackle, like, have a guy there. But no, I mean, Kelsey got like 10 yards of yak on that.
Yeah, he got a bunch of extra yards,
Yeah, which made it a nice 47, 48-yard field goal or whatever it was to tie it.
And, I mean, admittedly, though, even that wasn't a guaranteed kick because Bucker was struggling last night a little bit. He missed a field goal and an extra point last night.
Yeah. But the field goal was from 50 plus. Or the field goal was from 50, I believe. And the extra point is what it is. But All right. Now, let's get to the conversation that literally everyone is having on social media right now. Overtime. Teams, since this overtime rules package came into play in the 2012 playoffs, the first one was the Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas against the Steelers in Denver to win the game. Teams that win the coin toss in overtime are 10. There's been 11 times, 10-1 in those situations. And I believe it was, I think I saved that picture.
The Saints are the one that lost, aren't they?
Yeah, 2018 against the Rams, the NFC Championship. Let me get the Ian Rappaport where he had that picture of the NFL research data on overtimes, because I want to get the number right that scored a touchdown of those 10 wins. 70% of those 10 teams won with a touchdown on the first drive. You have to change it. You can't. It's not good for the sport to not have both teams get an opportunity.
Admittedly, these rules are better though than it used to be, where it was any score ended the game.
Yeah.
But I do agree, especially in playoffs. Like, I don't care about the regular season at this point. Playoffs, though, both teams should get a possession. And if it's still tied at the end of the first overtime, then maybe do next score wins.
Well, I was thinking about it, and like I've been an advocate for the NFL changing to the college rules. Go from the 25, you get one timeout in each overtime period or overtime half or whatever it is, and then you can score and you keep going until you score. Obviously, I don't like how college has changed it now to the stupid
the 2-point conversion things. I don't want that.
But I have also now come to the point where I thought last night, and I put this in my law school fantasy football group chat, why don't we do what basketball does, college and NBA? Play a whole overtime period.
Yeah. Play
15 minutes, and whoever comes out at the end comes out.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Do the entire first overtime, and if it's still tied, then it's sudden death in the second overtime.
Yeah, I could see that. I would be an advocate for keep playing. See, well, I would say, as if you would happen to get to a second overtime, and like a third and whatever, you decrease the time. So, but if you're going to go to a second overtime, whoever had the ball last in the first overtime, the other team gets the ball to start the second. I think that's just a fair thing.
Yeah.
But I'll also bring up what the Chiefs, this is getting into a little bit to our NFL news, but that's fine. The Chiefs, when they lost to the Patriots in 2018, they brought the overtime rule changes up as well in their competition committee proposal. Apparently, the competition committee is expected to look at the overtime rules again. More than likely, nothing's going to change. But 3 years ago, when the Chiefs proposed theirs, they said, don't do an overtime coin toss. No overtime coin toss. That coin toss, in air quotes, is decided prior to the game. So as the person that I saw that from on Twitter was Peter Schrager.
Mm-hmm.
And as he said, it would make for so much more interesting fourth quarter coaching decisions, knowing that the other team is going to get the ball or knowing that you're going to get the ball in overtime. Because say the Chiefs knew the Bills were going to get the ball in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I still don't think it matters with 13 seconds. They're kind of gonna have to kick a field goal with that much time. But if they had like a minute to go, and the Chiefs probably would have wanted to go for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew the Bills would get the ball in overtime. So,
Mm-hmm.
Or like in the Bucs Rams game when the Bucs tied it up, I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, maybe they should just go for the win here, go for 2." That wasn't happening, obviously. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it were up to me, I think I would even eliminate the coin toss altogether and add another element of home field advantage. Home team always starts with the ball in overtime or something like that. But then also add in the whole like no sudden death situation.
Yeah, I definitely think like the whole entire overtime period is definitely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFLPA is going to bring back. Well, that has a player safety issue. The thing that I hate about the NFLPA is that there's so many more players than there are player representatives because there's only one rep per team. And there's the president, which is Brown center JC Treader. But it's just like, I don't think a lot of the times they represent a majority of players' opinions.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Definitely should change. That's the general public's view. I believe that's the majority. I mean, I've heard both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side is people are saying, well, stop them. I agree the Bills should have, but at the same time, the Bills should have also been given an opportunity to tie the game. So Chiefs covered -2.5 over 54. Fuck the Chiefs. Go Bengals. We are officially in Cincinnati, NATTY mode. So I am all in on Cincinnati Bengals winning their first ever Super Bowl this year.
I mean, I would love that because, again, I've been saying it. That would mean that the Jets beat the Super Bowl champions. And I would love to just be able to say that. But I don't know. Maybe the Bengals do have some magic left in them, but I don't see them getting past the Chiefs for one, even though they already beat them earlier this season. Playoffs is a different animal. And even if they were to make it to the Super Bowl, I think the only way they have a shot at winning that game is if they're playing the 49ers. I don't think they beat the Rams.
I mean, Joe Burrow just keeps getting up. So, like I said, I think the Bengals are a very underrated defense. That's why head coach Lou Anarumo is getting head coaching interviews now because the Bengals defense is showing up in the national spotlight. So,
but again, if the Bengals offensive line has a game like they did against Tennessee, no matter who they're playing, if it's next week or in the Super Bowl, Burrow's pretty much his career might be over if they have another game like that.
See, I think if they play the Rams, and I think against the Chiefs, they're going to have to do it too. Something the Bills didn't do was run the ball effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can do that considering Joe Mixon was top 5 in every category in rushing this year.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 51 yards against Titans, but the Titans are a very stout front and
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily know if the Chiefs or I know the Niners are very good up front, but the Rams have been susceptible to the run a couple times this year.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, those were the divisional games. Crazy weekend of football. Ending on some news here. NCAA news. I feel betrayed. Wide receiver Jermaine Burton, he has transferred to Alabama. Switching sides. I can't, bro. I will now hate you during the 2022 season, Jermaine. You can't do that. Second leading receiver on Georgia, 497 yards, and tied for second in receiving touchdowns with 5 this year.
Mm-hmm.
NFL news. There's a lot of stuff going on in Pittsburgh now. It's going to be a completely new team in 2022 and beyond. Longtime Steelers defensive coordinator Keith Butler is retiring. Actually, I shouldn't say longtime defensive coordinator. He's only been there, DC, about 5 years-ish. I don't remember exactly which year Dick LeBeau left for Tennessee, but sounds about right. 5 years-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 10 seasons as a player, as a linebacker. I don't remember who he played for. I think he might have played for the Steelers. I don't remember. You're always the guy that looks everything up during the shows.
Well, yeah, I
figured you'd be looking it up already.
I was looking up Dick LeBeau to see when he left for Tennessee.
Oh, I got you.
He was the coordinator till 2014, so he left, and he was the Titans coordinator from 2015 to 2017.
Okay, so 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was the DC for the Steelers. But yeah, 10 seasons as a player for Keith Butler, and followed that up with 23 seasons as an assistant. 19 of those came with the Steelers. 2-time Super Bowl champ, one with Coach Cowher, Super Bowl 40, and one with Coach Tomlin, Super Bowl 43.
Hey, Keith Butler played for the Seahawks for 10 seasons.
Okay, Seahawks. Nice. But yeah, a lot of shaking up in Pittsburgh. Got to get a new quarterback. Got to get a new defensive coordinator. Got to get a new GM whenever Kevin Colbert retires after the 2022 draft. One constant. The coach of the year should be. He won't be, but I know he should be in the conversation anyways. Mike Tomlin never lost. Never lose. He's never had a losing season in 15 years, dude. NFL record.
He's definitely one of the most underrated coaches in all of football.
And the thing is I hate that coach of the year comes down to like the best team that year. But I thought a couple of years ago when the Steelers went 8-8 and missed the playoffs, that Mike Tomlin should have won coach of the year. Because to get that team to 8-8 with Big Ben playing 1.5 games, and you went through the season playing Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, and Josh Dobbs for the entire season, and to get to 8-8, I thought was a marvelous job by him.
I mean, coach of the year is just like MVP. It's always on one of the best teams in the league rather than a player or coach that actually deserves it. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head who's the front runner right now, but one name that comes to mind is Zach Taylor is probably a big candidate for it.
It's more than likely going to be Vrabel. That's who I've heard a lot of people picking.
Yeah, him too. I mean, because they did go for half the season at least without Henry and still got the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I agree that Zach Taylor, I think, should be worst to first in the AFC North.
Granted, it was because he didn't have Burrow last year, but still.
Yeah, but still they went what was it, a 6-win improvement?
Yeah.
They were 4-12 last year. They went 10-7 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so Keith Butler retiring. The Packers, interesting offseason for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Heading in. They are projected to be $44.8 million over the cap right now. Even that's I believe with the expected cap increase that is expected to happen. A lot of that is Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
They have some other big money deals on the books still, like Bakhtiari, Kenny Clark's deal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they signed Jair Alexander last year or 2 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
But they got to re-sign Devontae Adams, or at least franchise tag him. The Packers are going to look very different
Mm-hmm.
in their roster construction.
Yeah. I mean, the Saints, weren't they like 60 million over this past season, going into the season at least? So
they're going to be around that again this season.
Yeah. So the Saints were able to figure it out.
Yeah, the Packers are the second worst cap situation heading into 2022.
I don't know. I think it's in the best interest of both Devontae and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for all three to just go separate ways. I mean, Adams and Rodgers might go to the same place, but I mean, both of them leave the Packers.
Yeah, I think the most logical scenario that happens is that Aaron Rodgers leaves. I believe he's still signed for a year, so they have to trade him. And then they they tag and trade Devontae Adams. Probably it depends. Depends who it's to. Because that's a lot in one package.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be a lot of picks. And I hate that this occurred, but I saw it pop up on my Facebook. And I don't want it to happen because I'm not that big a fan of Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, Philadelphia Eagles have been named as a potential destination for Rodgers. Absolutely hate it. We need to build around Jalen Hurts. I think he can win us games. He got us to the playoffs this year. They need to build through the draft like Howie Roseman built with some free agents along the way, as every team does. But I would absolutely hate it. And obviously, the Eagles are going to be named in every quarterback, trade candidate scenario because they have 3 first-round picks. I'm surprised, though, that the Giants aren't being named in a lot of these quarterback trade markets because they have 2 2 top 10 picks that they could trade. And I mean, if you're talking about the Giants getting Rodgers and Adams, I mean, 2 top 10 picks, you could trade just those 2 and maybe a 2 next year. And I think that would be more than enough because, I mean, I don't know exactly when you look at the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart, what the values are of number 6 and number 8 that they have. But Very high value. I know, obviously top 10.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the Giants though is I mean, yes, Daniel Jones isn't that great. He's not the answer at quarterback for them, but the Giants' problems go beyond quarterback. So even with Rodgers, I don't think that they will be that great. Yeah, they might be good enough for a playoff spot, but that's about it.
I mean, their defense, though, they won 2 Super Bowls with Eli with the defense.
Yeah, but
And
they also had a reliable run game and solid receivers too. So
well, they would have a solid receiver, and that would bump Kenny Golladay to a number 2, which I think would be more his role. You can put Sterling Shepard back in the slot. And I mean, I'm saying this as an Eagles fan. I would hate to, see that happen, but I'm just saying, I think it all also depends, they got their GM, they got Joe Shane. I think it depends who they bring in as their head coach.
mm-hmm.
Everyone's saying it's going to be Daboll because of the Buffalo connection with them both being in Buffalo currently. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I just don't think that they're going to go Daniel Jones. I think they're going to draft a quarterback this year. If Joe Judge was staying, I think Daniel Jones would get another shot. But I just.
Well, the team I think that Rodgers is going to end up going to, though, is the Broncos. I think that's the most likely scenario for me because the Broncos are still in win now mode, and they're a quarterback away from actually being a contender. And I just looked up scenarios just because it's fun to, and I mean, I don't really know if any of these are actually plausible or if they'd actually happen, but this one I think is the least likely one I've seen so far. But it's a first for the next 3 years, and Patrick Surtain for Rodgers, and a third rounder this year. I don't think that happens.
Oh, because that's paying 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, for Rodgers and a third.
Yeah. Rodgers is only going to play max 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Now, would you do this as the Broncos? You get Rodgers and Adams for a first and second this year, a first and second next year, and a first in 2024 plus Judy.
I think that's more likely. I would
five high draft picks and Judy for Rodgers and Adams.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big Judy person. Hasn't really panned out as a second-round draft pick, but yeah, I mean, I could possibly see that. I think personally the max that I would pay would be 3 ones and a 2 and a player. And I would make sure that 2 is next year, not this year. To maximize the ability to get young talent this season coming in for Rodgers. But yeah, my max would be 3 first-round picks and a 2 next year, plus a player.
Well,
for both of those.
This final scenario that I saw here, it's probably the cheapest option for the Broncos. For just Rodgers, nothing else, you're giving up your first rounders for the next 3 years and a third rounder this year, and that's it.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not paying more than 1 first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. I don't care how good he is. When you're telling me you're only going to get 3 seasons out of him, max, that's max 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. He might only play 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Being that he is 36, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not paying more than 1 first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. Some team is going to be stupid and will. But I just don't think the Denver Broncos, as much as they want him and as much as that is a logical fit, for one, I don't think they're going to hire the head coach that I would want.
Wait, Rodgers is 38, by the way.
Oh, okay. He's older than I thought. Oh, he did get drafted in 2005. That's right. But I think that they're not going to get the head coach that I want there for it to be a Rodgers destination, because Dan Quinn is still the favorite, I believe, in Denver.
Mhm.
And my guy, if the Broncos were going to get Aaron Rodgers, would be Brian Flores. So, or Eric Bieniemy. But, so yeah, that's why I don't think the Broncos would get him. I mean, they still could. I just don't think Dan Quinn's the right guy to be with an Aaron Rodgers.
Mhm.
That's some pretty strong personalities to be together.
Oh yeah.
And we saw him and McCarthy worked out for quite a while, but got kind of feisty at the end.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, that's the Packers situation. That was a good conversation. Another good conversation to have is about your other team, not the Jets, but the Saints. Head coach Sean Payton isn't committed to returning this season, and Gail Benson doesn't know if he's going to, she said.
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought that was just a really weird thing. I mean, he probably knows what the rest of us know, and the future's not that bright in New Orleans right now.
Yeah.
So he probably wants to get out while he can, and maybe somehow get one of these jobs that's available right now, or he maybe can see obviously he can't see the future, but maybe he can kind of tell what maybe next year's crop of coaching positions is going to be like, and maybe he wants to go for one of those. I don't know. But I mean, I don't really blame him if he ends up leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking ahead since you mentioned it, 2023, who knows with Belichick in New England, how long he's going to go. That would be something to watch. You got to talk about Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. I think it's Dallas. They're big expectations, and to get ousted in the first round is got Jerry Jones talking.
Yeah, I mean, there was already rumors that he was going to get released this offseason at some point, but I don't know.
I think Ron Rivera is very real on the hot seat, considering, even they won the division last year, but didn't do much this year. They haven't found their quarterback in 3 seasons, I think it is. And then I don't think anyone's going to be gone in the AFC North. I don't think anyone's going to be gone in the NFC North either, considering 2 of those teams are hiring head coaches this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lions are committed to Dan Campbell.
As they should be.
NFC South, I mean, Arthur Smith, even after 2 seasons, or no, this was his first year. No, this was, I can never remember when people got hired. But I think Arthur Smith could be someone on the hot seat potentially. Mm-hmm. NFC West, who knows what Pete Carroll is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all the other Cliff Kingsbury could be. I mean, there were talks. Ian Rappaport said there wasn't a meeting, that someone had reported that there was a meeting between owner Michael Bidwell and GM Steve Keim and coach Cliff Kingsbury that got heated. But Cliff Kingsbury is definitely on the hot seat, I think, going into next season.
Mm-hmm.
AFC South, I don't think anyone would be on the hot seat again. That's another division. 2 teams are hiring new head coaches. Possibly Frank Reich, but I don't see it right now. I think that was Carson Wentz, not really Reich.
Mm-hmm.
And the AFC West, I mean, it's another division. 2 teams are hiring head coaches right now, and I think Brandon Staley is safe, and obviously Andy Reid is safe. So.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Staley could be, though. I mean, he's gotten a lot of heat.
Yeah.
I mean, the average every year is like 5, I believe, openings, usually.
Yeah, there's been 8 this year, so.
And there's always 1 or 2 that you don't expect.
Yeah, there could be a one and done again next year, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I think also, I think Sean Payton will return for at least 2022 because it ties into the next thing on our news docket here. Bucs quarterback Tom Brady also mulling retirement this offseason. For the first time ever, it is an actual real discussion at age 44.
I don't buy it, though. The only reason I don't buy it is because even after that statement, he had said, I want to go out on top. So I think if they had won the Super Bowl this year, I think there was a real chance that he was going to retire. But the fact that they didn't, he's not retiring.
I agree, but I'm saying with that, and this, I mean, Mark's been saying it all along, the whole entire season. Especially when you look at what the Panthers are doing, and I think that they need to keep staying the course and keep committing to Matt Rule, get their quarterback this offseason, Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
And that division is going to be totally different in 2 seasons. Brady's more likely than not won't be playing in Tampa by 2023 or 2024. Matt Ryan is more than likely going to be gone after 2022. So there's changing of the guard on those 2 teams at quarterback. The division is going to be wide open. I would think that would be an opportunity that Sean Payton would relish because the Saints had dominated the division for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can find the right guy at quarterback, they could dominate once again. So I still think it's the Panthers division in 2 seasons. They have a very good young defense.
Mm-hmm.
They just got to get the quarterback, which I think is wearing number 4 in Houston right now. Or at least I hope. I still think that's the best decision the Panthers can do this all season. But we'll get to that when we talk about, the divisional breakdowns here before the draft in April in our regular off-season programming. We already talked about overtime rules, head coach interviews, just 2 new ones that I saw this week. The Vikings, they did interview 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. And then the Giants, they interviewed Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo for their head coaching spot. A lot of teams, it's getting down to it. A lot of teams are doing finalists, having second interviews for GM spots. Not as many second interviews yet for head coaching spots. I know the Giants have been doing second interviews. They did one with Dable, and there was one other person with them, I believe, that did a second interview. I can't remember who it was. I know Dan Quinn. The Broncos have 3 finalists. I believe it's Dan Quinn, Nathaniel Hackett, and again, the last person is slipping my mind. I want to say Eric Bieniemy, but I don't think that's who the third person was.
I don't remember.
And the Jags, man, the Jags have been just flying under the radar. I haven't heard anything barely about their head coaching interviews. Actually, they did have a second interview with Byron Leftwich, though. I did see that. So again, I think Byron Leftwich would be pretty good. You know, only has to go a couple miles from Tampa, and also he was one of the greatest Jaguars quarterbacks in franchise history. So,
I mean that list is very short, so not really hard to be one of the greatest in Jaguars history.
Yeah, but they have Blake Bortles, man.
I'm not even going to get into that, but if they had another quarterback in 2017, they would have won. They would have at least gotten to the Super Bowl.
I mean, Blake Bortles led the Jaguars to one of their best seasons in franchise history in 2017. And they never made a Super Bowl, so. All right, GM interviews for the Raiders. They are interviewing Colts assistant GM Ed Dodds. And then one injury coming out of this weekend doesn't matter really because he's going into the offseason. But Packers running back A.J. Dillon, he suffered a fractured rib on Saturday night. So even if they would have won, would have been very difficult for him to make the NFC Championship game appearance. And then some transactional stuff here. When the Bucs activated Leonard Fournette from IR, they also waived running back Le'Veon Bell. So he is out there in the wind once again. The Jets could sign him again if they want.
I mean, if it's for like 1/10 of what they signed him for the first time, I still don't think I'd want him.
Is his contract still in the books, Chris?
It very well might be. I don't know for sure,
but and then for the Chiefs, they activated defensive tackle Colin Saunders off of IR, and in a corresponding move, they waived wide receiver Josh Gordon. They're expected to re-sign him to their practice squad. Obviously, has to clear waivers first tomorrow. We'll see. That's an interesting name. I highly doubt anyone claims Le'Veon Bell, but Josh Gordon, you never know. Never know. So Chiefs might lose him. We shall see. Bears, stop interviewing Omar Khan. He is the guy, bro. I'm telling you, Omar Khan is the guy that is going to be the next GM of the Steelers. But the stupid Bears keep interviewing him. They're the only team that's interviewed him. So annoying. I'm like, bro, I know Omar Khan has been in the Steelers system for quite a while. And he's in my mind, the perfect candidate to take over for Kevin Colbert. Anyways, that's a show for today. Got some hockey going on tonight. I got to read some stuff for law school. But I had a fun time. I forgot. Final pick standings. Mark won. We all picked the Rams last Monday. All got it right. But yeah, Mark, he won by 3 over me and by 4 over Chris. Definitely the closest of any of the pick standings. Except for the locks, which are always close.
Yeah.
Because Mark picks with one of us every other week. But yeah, those are the final pick standings. Congrats, Mark, for winning the Monday show. So
another victory for Mark. He already won one thing. he has a chance at winning the NFL
picks for the Friday show, and
Yeah,
he won this one. So I
yeah,
think
so
he won most of the picks.
Yeah, so he's got the Monday standings. He's got the dog standings. I got the locks. You got the college, and NFL Friday standings are to be determined. Which I fell off. I went 1-3, dude. So y'all are gonna. We'll have to see how it shakes out. I haven't.
Well, I'm already out of it. I think.
Oh yeah, you were like 8 back.
Yeah. With 7 games to go, so I was already out of first place.
Yeah, but Mark went 1-3 too. So yeah, because if you had 2 lone wolves and we went 4-0 in lone wolves. So all right. I don't know why that's on here. But anyways, next Monday we'll be back. Championship weekend. We will be recapping it all, talking a little bit. We probably won't talk too much about the Super Bowl because we have 2 weeks to do that. 2 shows to do that. So might talk about it a little bit just to, see what we think about the matchups to start. But anyways, we'll be recapping the AFC title game, Bengals at the Chiefs, NFC title games, Niners, Rams, part 3. It's going to be a good time. Bengals already beat the Chiefs this season. Niners have won 6 straight against the Rams. So
yeah,
talk about those games more on Football Friday. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Thank you, Chris, and happy show 100, sir.
Yes, it's been a fun 100 shows.
And we will see you back on Football Friday.